I can wear it all the way up here if you want.
It's more like the like tilt up a little bit.
Cool.
Hi, FCBC fam. You are tuning into another episode of For Creators by Creators. We are a place for content creators of any type, any medium to gather and to gain insight from those who have been there and done it, who have run the gamut of demonetization struggles and algorithmic oppression. And they're here to just help illuminate the way a little bit. Our goal is for all of you who are watching or listening in to be able to find a way to get paid for your work, especially if it's the thing that you most love to do. My name is Jess. I am your host, and I'm very excited to announce today's guest that we have, Kyler Fisher, the man, the myth, the legend. Hello.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I know you flew
absolutely.
in. You had a rigmarole of a morning getting here.
One heck of a morning. Yep. I bought a flight that didn't happen for a month. So yeah. So I had to buy another flight.
Back to the
My
future,
bad.
right?
Yeah, back to the future.
You could also come out here in a month because you have that
I
flight.
I could do that, but we're actually moving back. I moved to Salt Lake City during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
COVID was really tough on the family.
Yeah.
We had 4 kids at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just hard. So we just wanted to try something different for a while, and it was good. And
Yeah.
now we're coming back. So.
I mean, Utah is a bit of a pause, right? It's like I also am based out of Utah, and I have fallen in love. As an Angelino, as someone that considers myself first and foremost an Angelino, I have been able to breathe in Utah.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did, is breathe for a bit.
Breathe.
But you can't breathe in the cold. You know?
Yeah.
7 months of hibernation, man. It's hard.
Truly, especially if you're not in the snow. I need to learn the snow sports.
I was a big skier, and so I thought that'd be a good place to move. But as you get older and you have more kids, which I have 5,
Yeah.
it's a lot. I didn't ski once this year,
And it was a good season.
I was an avid skier, so for me it was kind of interesting not going this year at all.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep the business going,
Yeah. And speaking of the business, let's just do a quick intro for
Cool.
anybody that might not know who you are. You are a multi-hyphenate creative. You're a musician, you're an actor, and you were one of the early adopters, along with your wife Madison, of pretty much all of these social tools. And musically, even before it was TikTok, you guys were on there. You were if I remember correctly, you were living next to some of the biggest names in the business, and you guys all kind of started together. Can you give us just a glimpse into where you came from and the first time you put yourself online?
Sure, yeah. Madison, she's been an actress and a model her entire life, ever since she was 3 years old. So this town knows who she is. She's been in every casting office there is. She's had a callback for thousands of auditions that I've been a witness of.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good little actress. Well, we were running around Hollywood doing our thing, and we lived across from Logan and Jake Paul.
Oh yeah.
So we had no interest in doing social media. In fact, we thought it was silly because we were just traditional actors doing our thing. And
You guys had the craft.
yeah, we had the craft, right? Now everybody's doing it. But we just, it was hard for us to adopt social media. We thought it was just kind of silly, and we were a little bit older than some of the kids that were involved in that stuff. In fact, I think I'm like 10 years older than Jake.
Okay.
And about 8 years older than Logan. So for me, it was a little past my time. Vine, I wasn't really interested in Vine and that kind of stuff. Little did I know it was going to turn out like it has, right? And
Little did you know you're going to be one of the people that could corner the market.
yeah, little did I know. I had no interest at all. It was crazy. But Logan called me one day.
Mm-hmm.
We had actually started a little basketball league together. We were playing ball together for about a year. Me, Logan, Jake, just a bunch of creators.
Yeah.
And he called me one day and said, "Hey, Matt, can Madison play a little actress in one of my skits on Facebook?" And he posted it, and Madison gained like 25,000 followers that day on her Instagram. And mind you, we were just still posting food at that time, right, on Instagram, right?
So that growth is felt
with a filter and the white border. You remember
Yeah,
that?
oh yeah, the vignette.
Yeah. You go way down on your Instagram, and that's what you find.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so we were like, wow, this could be useful, So we dabbled in Musically a little bit, in Instagram, and we just started posting, and we were starting to see money from live streaming.
Okay.
which actually saved our life.
Wow.
Because I actually lost in a really bad business deal. I was involved in traditional business, or actually overseas business. I owned a cell phone company, and I thought I had made it. Right, I thought I had made it in that world and lost everything and a lot of investors' money in one day. It was horrible. And it started pouring rain. It was bad. So musically kind of saved our life because we would live stream every day, and our fans would send like in-app purchased gifts.
Okay.
Which is, I think they do that now. I don't do a lot of live streaming on TikTok, but I'm pretty sure the concept is still the same. But yeah, that saved our life. First. And then Madison and I found out we were pregnant.
Okay.
We had twins. And twins, we felt, made us super unique. And these girls were beautiful.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you
they're
look online
gorgeous.
and you see their pictures as little babies, they were the most beautiful little girls ever.
We're talking about Tatum and Oakley.
Tatum and Oakley, yeah.
Little sweethearts.
Yeah, they're the best. And so I came home from this trip to China, and I just told Madison, I said, Madison, I think this has to be our only plan. We have to do something different. I cannot go through this again. So we just jumped on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we just started posting, and I think the twins just made us so unique, and people just wanted to follow along with the journey that we just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
I called Jake. I said, hey, Jake, you want to make a video with the twins? I called Jojo Siwa. I called David Dobrik. I called everybody and said, hey, let's make these videos with the kids. And everybody was excited about it. David surprised Liza Koshy with my twins inside of a cardboard box. I don't know if you've ever seen his videos in the very beginning, but
what's in the box?
Yeah.
Two sweet little girls.
Logan strapped Tatum and Oakley to his back and his chest and walked around Hollywood and made his video. It was fun. It was fun. We had fun running around Hollywood and doing that thing, but we skyrocketed. We were gaining 350,000 followers a month.
Wow.
And it was just, it was so foreign, but it just became our life.
Yeah. And now, today, between all of the accounts, all the 5 children, both of you each have your own thing. What is the total that you guys are sitting at right now of as far as subscribers or followers active?
About 18 million.
Wow.
So
over how many years?
It has been about 9 years now. Wow. Just before the twins.
Average of 2 million a year.
I mean, just cross-platform.
Yeah.
Right?
That's incredible. So I have so many questions. First, it sounds like obviously you guys had the unique position of knowing people that were in the space and that were blowing up already, and you were able to kind of leverage them in a way to kind of do that first drop in the barrel. But it sounds like pretty soon after doing that and making the decision to pursue it, it was able to be monetized pretty quickly.
Pretty quickly, yeah.
And that was through, you said, in-app gifts versus brand sponsorships or partnerships.
We did get partnerships pretty fast. The partnerships started coming when we hit about 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. It didn't matter about subscribers, but our views were really good.
Yeah.
We started getting hit up by every agency, Studio 71. I don't even remember any of their names, honestly.
Yeah.
But Studio 71 is our parent agency. We've been with them for the entire time.
Oh.
And then, just a bunch of different brand agencies would reach out with opportunities, and still to this day they do. So it's great.
When you're new in that space and you get to the point where these brand agencies are pursuing you, for anyone watching that might not be there yet or is at that point, how do you snuff out the right partner for you? What are the are there specific terms you need to look for? What would you give as advice?
To be honest with you, I picked my agencies solely on the fact that The Rock was there and that Logan Paul was there.
Yeah.
You
knew something was
working. That's the honest truth. I was just like, you know what, if they're there, it's probably a decent choice because Logan was the leader in the game at that time.
Yeah. And I know that right now you said that you guys have scaled this to such a degree that actually let's go back for a second, which is when you were starting and you said that this content creation was kind of like a lifeline in a moment when you really needed it, and you made the choice to double down and make this the thing. You had mentioned to me that there was nothing that could have stopped you from creating content every day just to continue to feed that machine. I
mean, I have mouths to feed. That was number one, is making sure my kids were fed. And I remember I'll just be completely honest. We were so broke because of losing everything in that deal. I had every ounce of savings. I had our entire life in that business. I was all in.
Wow.
And I lost everything in a day. So it was horrible. I didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, there was a time when I put together a project for Jake where I strapped a trampoline to the bottom of a helicopter. You can go watch that movie or watch that video.
Where hanging down from it in the air.
Yeah. And it was a sponsored deal, and I knew there was a lot of money on the table for Jake, and I actually kind of begged Jake for a piece of that. I was like, brother, I am in one hell of a situation with these new babies, and I need help.
Yeah, because 2 mouths to feed.
Yeah.
First go round.
Jake actually went out instead of giving out. I kind of credit him for this during that time, but he went out and bought me all of my camera equipment, all of my gear. He was crushing it at that time. He had a TV up in his living room or whatever you want to call it in that Team 10 house that was just his social blade just turning like this. Just it was going crazy. He was gaining literally like 200,000 followers a day. Like it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. And that same week, he made a video with us, and we gained 125,000 followers in 24 hours on top of what we had already done. So then I had, it's like he gave us our real start.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave us our real start. We were growing, and it was good based on our family dynamic. But he gave me our real start for sure.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah, thank you, Jake. Jake's actually a really good dude.
I've heard that. I've heard a lot of really good things.
Yeah, he's great.
And that's what we like. That's kind of the point of this show, right? We're trying to create a way for the ones that have gone first to help the ones that are trying to make their. And again, the core focus is like. Creating content is a lot more work than people think it is. It requires so much more equipment, so much more time, so much more prowess, so many more technologies than I think people expect. And we see these platforms, trying to release tools to keep up with innovation and to make it easy and intuitive. But when it comes to the monetization piece, that's been kind of this gap for so many people, I think. And so I'm curious to hear when you guys were really having that huge growth, at what point did you realize we've hit the point where we can set the terms and we can kind of control the conversation? Or at what point did you remember realizing, okay, this is going to be the future for us?
I mean, really, it was within a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
It was weeks. It was 50,000 subscribers that I had grown to 500,000 within, a matter of weeks because of the collabs that I had done. That's the number one thing is collabing. I think people have kind of gotten away from that. They make content on their own. They forget how important it is to be seen and be seen by other people's networks and other people's fandom. That's what really grew our op. It's become more and more difficult for us to actually do that because we have 5 kids, and it's harder for us to cart our whole family to somebody's house or somebody's operation to make content with them. But
to even work around nap schedules, let's be honest. This is the thing that LA, we don't talk about kids that much because most people aren't having little kids in the city. But in Utah, you're just immersed in them.
Yeah. I mean, all of our kids were born here. We were doing it here.
Yeah.
People are always confused. They're always confused. We just said, hey, listen, man, this is what we want. Madison is just a natural. I mean, all women are. I think it's all innate. But she loves it. She wants to have a big family, so we just went for it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And now each member of the family has their own account or the shared accounts for the twins, but there's at least 5 accounts for the family.
Boys share an account. Halston has her own. Halston's kind of her own little
vibe
thing. Yeah, it's pretty fun. She actually booked a national commercial today, which is cool.
Wow.
Yeah, she's got her own little thing going. She's a little singer. She has a lot of fun. But then Tatum and Oakley, they obviously have their brand equity that probably will never go away.
Yeah.
It's only getting stronger. It's really cool as they grow and they're kind of in the pocket now.
Yeah.
They have their personalities are really coming out, and Madison does the kind of like the mom influencer thing now, a little bit of fashion, and and then I'm a country artist. That's kind of what my main focus is.
Yeah, so. And I want to get to your music, and I have so many questions, but
sure.
I think the first one is you have a full family. And they're, like you said, they're all under 8. That already is having your day full of any amount of driving tasks, activities, trying to make sure that they're not falling downstairs. And then on top of that, you're managing these like truly substantial businesses through each account on all these different platforms.
Yeah.
For the audience that's watching, like, what does that time commitment look like to keep those things going while having an actual life that's so full?
I mean, truthfully, we're not doing a very good job right now. Like,
well, I think you earned a breather.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult to keep alive. Yeah, we're having a hard time.
Okay.
Yeah, we're having a hard time. We're spread pretty thin right now with everything going on. Not to be a downer. I'm not being a downer. It just is what it is.
No,
what it is.
that's so valuable, because I think it's so. Everybody listening to this episode is probably thinking, "Oh my gosh, he had the magic wand. It just worked for him. I've been at this for years. I haven't made a dollar." But then to find out that even at that point, you sometimes have to like take stock and maybe re-strategize or.
Yep, that's kind of what we're doing right now. Actually, we're just moving back to California. And we're going to push the reset button and do what we did before. Just kind of start over. Now we're back in California. A lot of creators are here. There's not as much of that going on out in Salt Lake
for collaborations.
It's just
and stuff.
Yeah, it's just different. You know?
Yeah,
it's just. I don't know if you noticed the difference. But it's just not. It's just not the same.
People are on their phones just less.
Yeah.
Which I actually find a little bit refreshing, just because it can be so overwhelming to be attached to your phone so much. But obviously, that's the name of the game, and luckily these tiny tools can do so many things.
I mean, this is the entertainment capital of the world. I mean,
exactly.
this is where it all happens, and we just have a lot to do still. We're gonna run again. We're kind of getting past a lot of the milestones that really set you back, like potty training and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like we're kind of through that now, so it's time to like ramp it up.
And one of the questions I have is for audiences watching that might have, various takes on what it looks like to have your kids online, right? That's been a conversation in the celebrity sphere with paparazzi and with being able to publish kids' images without releases, etc. I'm curious, what was the decision like to put the kids online?
I never really thought about it too much, to be honest with you. My wife had been in the business for so long, and she had been in that world for so long that I didn't really think about the dangers of it. I give people the same answer anytime they ask. Like, it's kind of too late. Like you type in any of their names and they're all over the internet.
Yeah.
People have their opinions about it. I feel like I grew up in a place that didn't have the opportunities that those kids have had.
Oh yeah.
And I would have given anything for the opportunities that they've had. I came from literally nowhere, like Idaho, the middle of Idaho, just the middle of nowhere. Like there was nothing. So it was a fun world for me coming here and exploring what Madison has done, her entire life.
And to that point with you explaining that Madison's been doing this since she was, you said 3, right? So she actually has that lived experience also to maybe understand what that's going to be like for her daughters and for her sons. Have they enjoyed it?
My kids really enjoy it, actually. Yeah. And when they don't, and when there are days where they don't want to do it, we don't actually push it on them at all. We're pretty good about that because we've seen parents that are like that, and I don't want to be that kind of parent, Tatum and Oakley, especially Halston. I mean, you can go watch some of the content. I mean, it's very authentic. They enjoy it.
And how much because your guys' content, I mean, you showed me a video that had 10 million views in a day, I think.
Yeah.
How do you know? Is it just that you've been doing it for long enough and you've watched the trends, you've seen what works, or is it that you guys actually like understand what your audience is looking for to make the content that just goes and hits so hard?
Along the same lines of like, I don't want to push my kids into this stuff. I've always wanted to be super well-rounded with our content so it doesn't look like it's all like on the backs of our children, So our content is very lifestyle, and it's not just like Tatum and Oakley focus just because they're the most famous in the family, right? I just felt like I felt like I always wanted to keep it just well-rounded enough where it's not overwhelming and it's not something that they don't want to do. We make it fun.
I was just curious to see if it's something that they are kind of making their own in a way. Are you seeing new personality types come out from them?
Yeah, they're starting to. They just turned 8, so I mean, they're really starting to like find their groove, find their imagination, and they express themselves really well. So I mean, they're good little actresses. They get a lot of callbacks for their auditions, and it's really like it's really building them as humans. Where most kids their age and the kids they hang around, they don't have anything close to the personality that they do.
Yeah.
Because of this business. They've been in this business their whole life. It's really cool for me. I think it's great. It's a great opportunity for them to learn, grow, gain experience, and to continue having opportunity in their life.
Absolutely. And we were also talking in a previous episode about kind of the parasocial aspect to content creation, how people, viewers, audience members, subscribers will often conflate the character that you are online with thinking they actually know you.
Yeah.
Have you guys had any parasocial events?
Oh yeah, we get a lot of hate.
Oh, really?
A lot of hate for stuff. People don't know us. They want to speak up. And anytime we respond back, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I love you guys."
Because they got the attention.
They got the attention. Yeah, that's what they do. Is they do it to get attention for the most part. There's a few real Karens out there, that mean what they say. But for the most part, they just want our attention, and sometimes they get it if it's mean enough.
Well, don't be mean. Be nice.
Don't be mean. Be nice.
Everybody's going through something.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone through the journey to today, and you're kind of having this renaissance. You're moving back to LA. You're digging
I will never
back
move back to LA.
You're not moving back to LA. You're moving back to California.
Orange County.
Yeah. Of course. Okay. Good choice. What is that near future look like? Do you guys have content planned for that, or is it just going to be organic?
Both. Both. Me and Madison have a podcast together called The Mad Life.
Yeah.
And so we're building that, and really we're kind of just posting episodes week by week, knowing that we're moving here to really dive in and get the guests that we want on our channel. It's just a matter of a couple weeks, and we'll be here rocking that.
Yeah.
As far as our day-to-day content, it's going to shift a little bit because we are building a worldwide brand right now through a major conglomerate in town, which is cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say this or not, but
we can cut it out.
Maybe I'll just say it. So if you know the personality Jojo Siwa, we have remained friends all the way through the years. So she's a huge aspect to the growth of this new op. She was a day one with Jojo and built that whole brand. And we are using this similar playbook, to build out consumer products for our girls, and just doing some fun stuff. I can't say it all, but
of course.
Just doing some fun stuff that we're really, really excited about that you'll see in the near future. So there's that, and then we're gonna get a little more dialed in our content strategy because we tend to just kind of like post random stuff. We're gonna kind of fall back in line with what we used to do, which is very direct, focused. Viral content, which we used to study. We used to study and kind of follow the patterns. We kind of got away from that because of life, but we're gonna fall right back in line with what we used to do.
Well, and for those watching or listening, how do you find those patterns? Is it just by studying? Do you mean you literally just watch the content that's working and figure out how they did it? Or are there other...
That's how it's always been. Everybody copies everybody. Yeah. That's the truth.
Because then it turns into a trend, right?
Yeah, it turns into a trend. So one person will do it, they think it's funny, it goes viral, then another person will do it, and it just becomes a trend. So either that or music. So it'll be based on specific music that's at the top of the charts, and then... the trend will happen from the music. And
it sounds like a huge part of your guys' journey has been these collaborations, right, with other creators. And I'm curious to know, what was the most valuable or the most surprising technique that you learned in the process from some that we could maybe share with the audience if they're trying to, find some way to get closer towards that viral bullseye?
I would say what happens with a lot of creators, especially new creators, is they think it's easy.
Yeah.
And so they think that they're just going to post something one day, it's going to go viral. But really, it took us several months before we had a viral video on our own. Posting every day. I was an everyday vlogger. consistency is the most important thing, and partners like YouTube, they want to know that you're a consistent partner as well. And that's actually part of the reason why we fell off a little bit, is because we just stopped posting. Like
Yeah.
I think there were times when I didn't post a video for 20 days, you know? And we were posting consistently, 3 and 4 times a week for 6 years before we kind of tapered off. But consistency is a huge deal, and then being willing to work with the other creators, creators that are smaller than you, creators that are bigger than you. You just have to be willing to work with people. I think that's where we found our greatest reward in this business is in growth, is working with other people.
I love that. Because again, that's kind of the point of this. We're just trying to create more collaboration, more resources, more opportunities, and findings that people can implement in their own lives, with the consistency part of it, especially again, as you're multiplying people in your life.
Yeah.
Let's talk about burnout of what it actually means to hit the wall as a creator, especially when you're doing it at such a public level, at a point when you truly are visible and people are really seeing your life. What does that look like?
I mean, I'll be honest. I have to be honest. I am burnt out. I'm burnt out. 9 years of doing this is a lot of content. We have thousands of videos on the internet. I think there's probably 2,000 videos out there between TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, maybe more, And that's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of content, right? And you tend to run out of ideas, And we actually, I would say that a part of our real strategy in our life, our content life was having kids, right? Just everybody wanted to follow along the journey. So you'd have the baby, and then it's like the baby comes home, first time home, and it's first time meeting Tatum and Oakley. Then it's like potty training, and then it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just people follow along the journey. We're not having any more kids. The milestones aren't happening anymore, you know? So you have to change it up a little bit.
The strategies you shift, you guys have so many different skill sets, right? Like you said, you're a musician, you're a country singer. Let's pivot there for a second.
Sure.
Where did that fit in? Because again, it already sounds so overcommitted. How did you find time to develop music?
I always wanted to. I've played and sang my whole life. Played the guitar and sang my whole life, but I never did anything with it. I just felt like, now that I have a platform, why not try? So I released a song, and it was just like a YouTube song. It wasn't really super focused country. It was country, but like very, very pop country. And it did like 10 million streams. It was like 10 million across like Apple Music, Spotify, like real streams. And then I released a few more through COVID, just kind of thinking it was still like a YouTube thing. And I had a song that it was called Stay at Home that I planned perfectly. It did 450 million streams.
Holy cow.
So I'm like, man, maybe I should just keep going and see how this goes, And then I got more focused country, like more kind of like in the pocket of the genre. Just really started enjoying it, the process. It's something that I think I'm gonna do forever. And I started jumping on stage.
Okay.
So I've had some fun live performances in front of thousands of people. Country music festivals. I'm doing another one in 25 days. You should come, by the way.
Yeah, I need a good country fan fest in my life.
Come on, come out. So I'm the opening artist for that festival. But I'm really enjoying that. That's a huge bucket list thing for me.
Yeah.
That is one hell of an electrifying experience, being on stage singing.
Well, I was going to ask, because you said you've been performing for a long time in your life, but like to go from being in front of millions of people that are watching your content either live or later from the phone versus being standing in front of them, what does that feel like?
Oh, much different.
Much different.
Much different. More scary for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of like jumping. It's kind of like getting ready to jump out of a plane, scared out of your mind before you jump up on stage. And then when you do, it kind of goes away.
You're flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're flying. So it's like, all right, I already jumped. So, but yeah, I would say that being in front of the camera as long as I did gave me more confidence, because I really had to develop confidence to do all this stuff. I didn't grow up doing this. Auditions were hard for me, like really hard for me in the acting world. I hate them actually. But it's weird because like when I'm acting in a movie, I've done a few different films. It's like the same concept. Like once you start, like it's like doesn't matter if there's 50 people around you. you've already jumped.
Yeah, you're just doing it.
Yeah, you're just doing it. So, some of the stuff that I do is for my own personal growth. I don't care how famous I get in country music or whatever. It's so much fun.
Well, and it sounds like from what you were describing, there's a way to your content can still be growing when you're in your niche, but there's the way to maybe lose the heart for it or lose the ideas. And so one of the big things we've talked about on this show is diversifying what you do. And if music brings you this new, fresh, outlet and energy and a completely different, it still serves the same purposes for your channels, right? It's still giving your audience content that's true to you, authentic to you, original to you, more ways to interact with you, and yet it's breathing new life, it sounds like, into your journey.
Totally.
What other ways have you guys had to diversify other than just multiplying, different platforms and
consumer products?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm involved in a lot of different investments, real estate development. I'm all over the place. Web3 stuff,
Actually, that's interesting. Have you been able to leverage any of these new technologies in making your content?
Not really, to be honest with you. I should, but I haven't much.
Yeah.
I haven't much. I think it's because you just kind of get in your lane and you have 5 kids, and then you don't want to do anymore.
That's the thing. We have to keep articulating that there's 5 kids, and yeah.
So there's a lot. I mean, it's just a lot. You can only do so much. I have to turn down stuff all the time because I don't have the time for it.
When it comes to your music, how do you protect your content? Like, have you ever dealt with a copyright issue?
I don't handle a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
My distributors do. So they're the ones who kind of track down, copyright issues or whatever.
Okay.
And I don't have. I mean, I'm not on the charts yet. You know what I'm saying? so I'm not having a lot of those issues.
Yeah, but you're performing in front of people, and we have people that their content's being taken from micro influencers, if you will, and having it being used. This
is very small level, but we have tons of fan accounts that really benefit off of our content.
Yeah,
they take our content, and you look at their stuff, and you go, "How the heck did that get 100,000 views?" Well, they got 100,000 views off of our name, and likeness. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's kind of like they're little partners in our life, you know what I mean? Pushing our content to strengthen the center, I guess,
So you view it
almost
like begrudgingly symbiotic, where you can see that there's value because that's still 100,000 views you can assign to the video, right?
Yeah, it's for sure, like, they might be monetizing, but it's still benefiting us.
What is the thing you're most excited for?
I am most excited about the growth of my country music stuff. It's starting to really see some growth. Like people are really seeing that I'm taking it very serious, and I have stayed the course for the last 5 years. I'm excited about this new operation with Tatum and Oakley specifically, and growing their financial opportunity for their future in consumer products. They've built a name for themselves, and it's time to really give them an opportunity to monetize through product.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Do they have any idea their position and the income that's associated with it, or are they just have you guys been able to shield them from that?
We have a savings plan for them.
Yeah.
And they own some stuff. They own some property.
They own some property. Yeah. 8 years old. Look at them go.
They own some property, but they don't know it.
They're landowners. That's like
yeah.
That's the goal, right? Is that you are able to use these tools to create real opportunity and change in your life.
It's something I never had, and I just feel like as long as I'm here as their dad, I want to help rear them to understand what an opportunity is. My dad was good at teaching me how to work, but kind of like go out there and figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
I want to help my kids figure out and recognize what real opportunity is. And we have lots of opinions, right? There's lots of opinions that why are they putting them on, social media, blah, blah. I mean, we live in a world of that's what it is now. It's not foreign. Like Everybody's on social media. Everybody. I don't know. I guess it's just the decision we made as parents.
Yeah.
We're going to be there to back them up when and if something goes wrong, and we're going to kind of allow it to happen as long as they want it to, you know?
Yeah. And I think that that's one of the really special parts of it is that you guys are in it together as a family. It's not just the girl. It's not like it's a Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen kind of thing where, you know, they bore the brunt of that a lot, largely, you know, alone. You guys are all doing it together. And that's something I think pretty special. And obviously they have protectors in you guys to guide them through it, but then also to show them when it can be fun and when it can be, to your point, help derive confidence and identity.
Totally. And along the confidence line, my kids' confidence comparative to other kids, I think I might have mentioned this, is like through the roof.
Yeah.
I mean,
they know they're awesome.
Since the day they were born, they booked their first national commercial the day they were born.
That is the most successful life I think I've ever heard of before. We have a whole city here that's looking for nationals.
First Subway, right?
Okay.
It was great. They booked another one like 2 months later for United Healthcare.
Okay.
They were booked on Days of Our Lives for a year and a half of their life.
Okay.
They were one of the main characters' new babies. They did a movie. I mean, they had a really good run for the first like year of their life. You know, they've had the camera in their face since they were that little, and done auditions and whatnot ever since. Print jobs, tons of stuff.
Yeah,
so
Subway
had
like infants on a commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, look at them go.
Yeah, especially twins.
Okay.
Especially twins.
Just
I mean,
noshing on
they
a
just
sandwich?
wait for them to come out.
Yeah.
Because it's like a labor thing, labor law thing, right? There's labor law thing, and then also, you know, if one's being fussy or whatnot, they can switch them out.
I think we have just a little bit more time, but you had said that one of the huge propulsions in your career was that you were basically kind of gifted the equipment that was needed to start at the beginning. If we have creators watching or listening that have no equipment beyond their phone,
use your phone.
Use
Phone's
your phone.
Great.
Start with that.
Yeah, we didn't have those kind of phones back then. You know?
No, right?
Not 10 years ago. I mean, like we had an iPhone, but it was like crap. You know, these are great. These 14, 15, I don't even know what they're on now, 16. But they're great.
I have like a 13. Everybody today has been telling me that mine is janky.
Yeah, well, I think mine's a 14. You know, we just we vlog on our phone a lot. You know, film videos all the time, and that's literally what we use. I very rarely do I even pick up I have what's called an FX3. I very rarely pick that up. Anymore.
So if someone's watching and that would be their excuse, you're like, don't let that be your excuse. Just start today.
Yep, just start today. That's usually the excuse. It's like, I don't know what to use. You know, it's like, dude, just use your phone. Start shooting.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the phones are better than most cameras nowadays.
Yeah.
Focus ability is insane on these things.
And the intuitiveness of it. And then also it's worth mentioning that there's so many tools that we can use now for free to, you know, shoot, edit, post.
Yep. Get an editor though.
Get an editor.
Oh yeah. That'll change your life. You don't want to experience burnout, get an editor. That's number one.
Are there any last key bits of advice that you'd give to content creators that are just really trying to push forward into having this be their full-time thing?
Yeah, I mean, just number one is be yourself. Don't try to be someone else because people are going to see that, you know. They're going to see that you're trying to be another person. Just be yourself and have something unique about yourself that sets you apart from other creators. Find out what that is and run with it and stay consistent at it because it takes a while for people to buy into you. Yeah. If you're just starting out.
And it sounds like also find out who you can collaborate with. So I guess as I'm just very grateful that you took the time in your mad dash to LA to sit with us. Thank you for having this conversation. And we're going to have all of your tags, all the family's tags in the video description. But is there any specific place you want people looking for you online?
Yeah, well, they call us the Fish Fam on YouTube. So we call our audience
catchy.
Fisher Family. But the Fish Fam is our audience name. And then Kyler Stephen Fisher on Instagram, Kyler and Matt on YouTube, or on TikTok. It's not actually Kyler and Matt on YouTube anymore. We changed it recently. You can find all our content there.
Cool. Well, like I said, thank you again. Thank you, audience, for tuning in once again to hear some little bits of wisdom that hopefully are able to make your journey a little bit easier, a little bit more turnkey. And really, we just want to see a community of people that are being supported in their work, that are getting paid for their work, and that are getting the right credit for their work. So make sure to hit subscribe and tune in again next time. And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
You did great.